We're kicking off the 2025 Steelers offseason right here on Steelers Talk. And to kick off this very, very interesting offseason for the black and gold here, we're going to be breaking down draft picks, the salary cap breakdown here, pending free agents for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then also team needs as we approach the 2025 offseason, which should see some, hopefully, pretty significant changes for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2025 campaign. And let that Steelers Talk offseason blitz begin, man. We got a bunch of fantastic content coming your way here over the next several weeks. We're going to be putting out 2 videos a day on most days during the week to really get this content going so you guys can continue to get the best damn Steelers content anywhere on Steelers YouTube. Here's some of our upcoming videos we're going to be making, guys. Cut candidates, quarterback targets, restructure candidates, free agency rumors and targets, trade rumors and targets, draft rumors and targets, weekly mock drafts here on the channel, and so much more. So if you never want to miss any of that content, make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now. I think we're about like 40 subscribers away from getting to 75,000 subscribers here on Steelers Talk. So kick off the offseason right now by clicking that subscribe button, because every time the Steelers make a big move, we have breaking news coverage. We go live twice a week breaking down the latest news and rumors on this football team. So if you want the most extensive coverage of the black and gold this offseason, click that subscribe button. We're kicking off our offseason coverage here with our first Steelers Talk Live of the offseason here, starting today, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Do not be late. Okay, let's start off here with the cap space and what the Steelers are going to have to work with here heading into the offseason. Before cuts and all these different things, restructures, the Steelers, according to Over the Cap, are going to have $52,353,766 to work with, okay? And then when it comes to the draft pick, they are now locked in as the 21st overall pick in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft after losing in the wild card round to the Baltimore Ravens. This year, the Pittsburgh Steelers have 8 draft picks at their disposal. They've got one pick in each of the first 5 rounds, no picks in the 6th round, and then 3 picks in round 7. So you got those 8 picks at your disposal this year, and of course in round 1 you will have pick number 21. So when it comes to the draft here, let me know down there in the comments section, what do you want the Steelers to do with that draft pick? Do you have a specific player in the draft you would like the Steelers to go get? What position group should they draft at number 21 overall? Should they trade that pick for like a star wide receiver like Garrett Wilson in a trade? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at GameTime, which is the best place to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And GameTime has a brand new feature on their app called GameTime Picks that makes getting tickets for live events even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Right now, the Penguins season is in full force. If you guys want to go see some Penguins hockey there in Pittsburgh or any other live event you want to go see, all you have to do is select the GameTime Picks filter at the top of the screen when you click into an event you want to go see, and GameTime automatically filters through their entire database of tickets to find you the best tickets with the best prices and the best views, so you and your family always get the best deals on the tickets you get for any live event. And what I love about using the GameTime app is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. So it's the only ticketing app you need on your phone. All in pricing right up front so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout, and flash deals so you can get even cheaper tickets the closer you wait to game time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime today. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. It's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download GameTime today. What time is it? Game time. Okay, now let's comb through the Steelers roster here, and let's break down which guys are going to be free agents, which guys could potentially get cut, all these different things. And let's start with the quarterback position. And right now, the Steelers currently have 0 quarterbacks on their roster for 2025. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Kyle Allen are all free agents heading into the 2025 offseason here. And obviously, that creates a ginormous need at the position for the Steelers. And this quarterback room could look completely different next season if they don't bring back any of these 2024 options at quarterback. When it comes to Russell Wilson, you guys know that I've been an advocate for Russ, and honestly, I think you could do a lot worse than Russell Wilson in 2025. But after 5 straight losses and after 5 straight offensive performances where the Steelers failed to score more than 17 points, I think the Steelers are going to move on from Russell Wilson. And, I do think Russ is still a top 32 quarterback. I think it's kind of sad that, the offensive line, the run game, the wide receiver room, the weapons just weren't good enough around Russell Wilson for him to have success. I really do think if this offense was able to do the things that they were designed to do, run the football, play action, deep shots for Russell Wilson, not ask Russ to do too much, I really think Russ could have potentially even led this team to a playoff victory this year, but that's not the case. I do think he has limitations to his game, and I'm not sure if he's Arthur Smith's ideal quarterback in this offense with his lack of ability to target the middle of the field. So I do think if Arthur Smith remains that offensive coordinator, and I think he will, I think that he's going to advocate to move on from Russell Wilson in 2025. The bigger question mark to me is whether or not they bring back Justin Fields and give him a shot to be this team's franchise quarterback in the years to come. And in my opinion, out of any other quarterback option out there for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think the most likely is that they're going to bring back Justin Fields to be this team's franchise quarterback for the 2025 season and give him a shot to really develop in year 5 of his NFL career and become really the star quarterback that he has the potential to become with his dynamic rushing ability. He's got incredible arm talent, some good playmaking instincts. He does have a ways to go in terms of his in-structure playmaking, at least in my opinion. He's not a very effective downfield passer within structure at this point in his career, but he is certainly somebody with a lot of upside, and if the Steelers want to go for broke and really go for the ceiling play here, I think Justin Fields is probably the option. The question surrounding Fields is that if you bring him back to be your starter next year, how much is he going to cost on the open market? Because there's going to be other teams out there that might be vying for his services. So for me personally, guys, I think if you bring him back as a starter, he's going to want somewhere in the range of $20 to $25 million per season. I'm guessing he's probably going to want like a 2-year contract or something, but he might even accept a 1 year if he gets an opportunity to be the unchallenged starter. So I think that's what you can expect from a contract standpoint if Justin Fields comes back next year. And then as a backup, I think if you bring in a veteran, but you still want to keep Fields on the roster as a backup in the future, I think it would be around $15 million or so, around that range for him to come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers as a backup. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Should the Steelers lock in Justin Fields as this team's QB1 for next season? Give me a yes or a no down there in the comments section. Are you on Team Fields, or do you want to go out and get somebody else on the open market, or do you want Russell Wilson? Let me know your thoughts on the quarterback situation down there in the comments. Let's go over the rest of the roster here. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren are both free agents this offseason. I think Cordero Patterson is a cut candidate. And, I think that this running back room is going to look a lot different. I think Jaylen Warren will be back. He's a restricted free agent, but I do think the Steelers are going to let Najee Harris walk. And I think they're going to draft a running back very early in the 2025 NFL draft. Then you get to the wide receiver position. George Pickens and Calvin Austin III are under contract for next year. Pickens is a little bit shaky, though, because I think that there's a chance that he requests a trade out of Pittsburgh if he doesn't get an extension. But Van Jefferson, Mike Williams, Ben Skoranek, Scotty Miller, Jamal Agnew, all these guys are free agents. And then you do have Roman Wilson coming in his sophomore season. It'll be interesting to see how this team views Wilson heading into year 2. Then at the tight end position, really, you bring him back to 3 guys that you used the most this year. Pat Freiermuth, Darnell Washington, and Connor Hayward are all under contract for next year. Michael Pruitt is a free agent, but as we know, he's an Arthur Smith guy. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back next year as well. Then you get to the offensive line here, and Dan Moore Jr. is going to be a free agent. I'm guessing they're going to let him walk. Also, James Daniels is a free agent. I think they let him walk as well, most likely. Then also Nate Herbig, who got injured this year, is a free agent. Ryan McCollum and Max Sharping as well. I would expect that line to be shifting with Broderick Jones going to left tackle, with Fautano going to right tackle. Then on the defensive line, Larry Ogunjobi, you can save $7 million if you cut him, so I think he is as a cut candidate, but all these guys are technically under contract. Definitely going to be interesting to see what they do at this defensive line position, particularly at that 3-4 defensive end spot. On the outside linebackers, you got Watt, Highsmith, and Herbig all under contract. That position is pretty much locked away. Preston Smith, you can save over $13 million in cap next year if you cut him, so I think that he's probably the easiest cut candidate for the Steelers this year. Then you get to the inside linebackers. Landon Roberts is going to be a free agent. He's a very good run defender, very good blitzer. He wants to be in Pittsburgh, so we'll see if they bring him back, but you do have Peyton Wilson, who I think is ready to become a full-time starter for this team, waiting in the wings here on the inside. Then at safety, Minka and Deshaun are both under contract, so they will be back as your starting safety duo, but I do think they're probably going to want to add a third safety with DeMonte KZ set to hit the open market. We'll see if Ryan Watts is that guy in the Steelers' plans in the years to come. Then we get to the cornerback room here, and Dante Jackson's a free agent. I would personally not want to bring him back. Jerry Dulac of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette says the Steelers want to bring him back. I really hope this is a classic Dulac miss here, and I hope they go out and get somebody different at the cornerback position. Cam Sutton is also a free agent. I don't want to bring him back either. And then, really, you got Joey Porter Jr., Corey Trice Jr., and Beanie Bishop Jr. is the only guys that I expect to be on this roster next season. So the guys that I think are going to be likely out the door in terms of the free agents that the Steelers have this season, I think Russell Wilson is gone. I think Najee's probably gone. Mike Williams, I think, is kind of going to be a relic of the Russell Wilson era. I don't think he necessarily fits what Arthur Smith traditionally likes in this offense. I think Van Jefferson, after a tough season, is going to be out. Dan Moore Jr., I think, is going to be out as well. DeMonte KZ, Dante Jackson, and Cam Sutton, I think, are the pieces in the secondary that hit the bricks. So when it comes to Najee Harris here, guys, I do appreciate what Najee has done here in Pittsburgh. And, for what he is, I think he's fine. I appreciate the way he runs. He runs his ass off. He fights for extra yardage, but he's not the dynamic, game-changing running back one that this team needs in order to be the dominant run game that they want to be. You just look at the production here, man. Throughout his career, he's only averaged like around 4 yards a carry. It's just not good enough for a team that wants to have their identity on offense be through the number one running back. Like, he's just not a game changer. Yes, he's had over 1,000 yards in every single season he's been with the black and gold, but as Troy Aikman said a couple weeks ago, that doesn't impress me at all right? Because he's getting so much volume. He's had over 250 carries in all 4 of his seasons. If you're not getting to 1,000 yards with 250 carries, guys, something is desperately wrong. So, I do think Pittsburgh needs a game changer at the number one running back spot. Somebody like an Ashton Gianti, somebody like maybe Omarion Hampton out of UNC. The Steelers got to identify the person that they really like at the running back position in the draft, in my opinion, and I think you got to go pursue them in Green Bay in either round 1 or round 2. And then for the guys, that are free agents, and I think the Steelers would bring back for the right price, I think that there's a list here. I think James Daniels, for the right price, if they can get him for a really team-friendly deal, I think they might consider bringing him back. I would say more likely he's going to be a free agent and not return, but I think for the right price, they would bring him back. Same thing with Landon Roberts. I think they really believe in Peyton Wilson, but Landon wants to be here in Pittsburgh, and if you can get him for the right price and he takes a team-friendly deal, I could see him returning. Nate Herbig, his brother, plays here in Pittsburgh, and he can be a nice depth piece. I could certainly see the Steelers want to bring him back. The Metakevich, Pruitt, and Loudermilk are guys, rotational dudes, special teamers, etc., that I think that the Steelers might consider bringing back as well. When it comes to James Daniels, I do think that Mason McCormick played poorly enough at right guard this year where you think about bringing back James Daniels if it's for the right price. You're not going to pay too much for him, but after coming off that injury for Daniels this year, if he wants to come back and take a team-friendly deal to be the starting right guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm probably going to take that because we need this offensive line to take a big step forward compared to what it was here in 2024. Then the 3 guys that I think are likely to be back for the Steelers, I think the Steelers' most likely scenario, like I said earlier, is to bring back Justin Fields to be this team's starting quarterback next year. I think the Steelers will pay what it takes to bring back Jaylen Warren and on his restricted free agency status. And then Ben Skoranek is kind of an Arthur Smith dude, man. He's an excellent special special teamer. He's a great blocker, and he actually showed some good chops as a receiver as well in the slot. So I think Skoranek will be back next year as well on a team-friendly deal. So before I say goodbye today, guys, I do want to go over the team needs. We've gone over the roster. We've gone over the free agents. We've gone over some guys that I think will probably get cut from this football team this offseason. And right now I think the Steelers have 5 major needs heading into the offseason. You got to figure out the quarterback situation, whether that's Justin Fields, whether that's somebody outside the organization, whether that's bringing back Russ, whatever the answer is, they got to figure it out. They also need to figure out number 1 running back. I don't think Najee Harris is the answer at that position. I think they're going to address that in the draft. You need to get better at outside wide receiver. I think Roman and Calvin are probably a pretty good slot duo there, but you need somebody on the opposite side of Pickens on the outside, in my opinion, this offseason. You also need another outside cornerback to put on the other side of Joey Porter Jr., and then you need potentially even a slot cornerback. I like Beanie Bishop Jr. He made some big plays for this defense this year, but he is super tiny, so if you can get a better slot corner, I would certainly like to do that. Then the positions that I think the Steelers could use rotational help in here, 3-4 defensive end, especially if they let go of Larry Ogunjobi, they're going to need a replacement at that 3-4 DN spot. Inside linebacker, if they're losing a Landon Roberts, they still need a rotational third ILB in this rotation, and then a third safety as well. We talked about how Minka and Deshaun are slated to be back next year, whether that's Ryan Watts getting that third safety role, bringing in somebody else to play that kind of bigger third safety, kind of Terrell Edmonds role, is going to be something the Steelers need to have an answer for this offseason as well. Then some positions that I would like to see some depth being added. The interior of the defensive and offensive lines, also the offensive tackle position I'd like, just in case Broderick Jones is just a complete disaster at left tackle next year. Could always use more running back depth, especially with how much this team wants to run the football. You got to have that really quality depth at running back. Outside linebacker, having a fourth really good outside or OLB would be really nice behind the big 3. And then quarterback as well. You're going to need some depth. You don't just need a starter. You need backups in this quarterback room heading into the offseason. So sound off for me down there in the comments section. What is the biggest need for the Pittsburgh Steelers to address this offseason? Is it quarterback? Is it wide receiver? Is it cornerback? Let me know down there in the comments section what you guys think. What's the biggest team need for the black and gold here in 2025? We're just getting started with our offseason coverage here on Steelers Talk. Again, we're going to be going live later today with a bunch of great offseason content on Steelers Talk Live. That starts at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time today, guys, so don't miss it. I'll see you guys there. Until then, here we go, Steelers.